Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to spend a little time with me today on the video. I really appreciate that. And guys, today I'm going to talk about something that we got a lot riding on, that I've got a lot riding on over the next couple weeks. Going to sort of clue you in on what that is in today's video, and be curious to get your guys' feedback and see what you all think about it at the end of the episode here. Also, guys, just a couple quick housekeeping tips that you guys love to sit through and endure, and probably most of you fast forward through, but just wanted to remind you guys about Solar Bat's end of summer sale. They got 20% off on basically everything on the website there, including my RB2 and RB3 series signature series sunglasses. So I'll put that link in the description. And also, guys, Tackle Warehouse has got a bunch of good fall sales on tackle right now. I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description if you guys would like to use that link to purchase some fall fishing tackle. It's a good way to support the channel, so I really appreciate that. Okay, guys, here's what the clandestine headline or title of the video is all about. I'm talking about got a lot riding on the next couple weeks here. Is we've got our final Toyota Series tournament at Lake of the Ozarks next week, and got a lot riding on this one. Right now, I think I can't remember, 13th or 14th in the points or something like that. And they take the top 25 to the Toyota Series Championship, which pays over $200,000 to win. It's on Lake Wheeler, which I really want to make that, because I've done pretty good on Lake Wheeler in the fall before. I got a couple deals that really work there, so I really like my chances going into that tournament if I could qualify for the championship there. But what I want to talk about here, guys, is a couple challenges that I have here surrounding this tournament, what my plan is, and sort of give you guys an insight to how I'm preparing for a big tournament. And maybe this throughout the process we go through, like getting into it now, and by the time the tournament's over, you guys can get something out of it and learn something to help your own fishing out. Now, the first challenge we have right now, guys, is my boat from Vexus is still not done yet. It's supposed to be done in about 10 days, so I'm not going to have it in time for this Lake of the Ozarks tournament. So I'm back in my buddy's 1989 model Ranger I've been in for the last two tournaments, and it hasn't been that big of an issue the last two tournaments because I haven't ran very far. But the thing that has got me concerned in this tournament is that in the fall time of the year, I like to make a really long run at Lake of the Ozarks, really long run. And the boat he has, there's some type of problem with the fuel line in it. It's actually in the shop right now, but it's like, for the last year, my buddy said that, when you run it down the lake, and this happened at Table Rock with me last week, is you'll go 2 or 3 miles down the lake and the motor will die. And then you got to pump the bulb up, and you run a little bit more and it may die or it may not. And 10 minutes later, it may die. Then you can't get the thing started again. So in that Table Rock tournament, I ran about probably 25 miles, and I bet that motor died 10 times on each way up and each way back coming in that tournament. So this tournament at Lake of the Ozarks, I've got a really long run I want to make, and if this thing's not fixed, it could really affect my tournament negatively. On top of that, my buddy doesn't have a GPS on the boat, which isn't a big deal because I know Lake of the Ozarks really good. But the thing about it, what I really like a GPS, if I got to bite around a stump or lay down tree or something like that, I usually mark it on the GPS, so I'm not going to be able to do that. And on top of that, he's got 2 5-inch Humminbird Helix units. The screens are about that big on it, and the console one doesn't work at all. So running up there, I'm going to have no GPS. I'm going to have no depth finder. The front depth finder, it does work, but I don't really need the front depth finder anyway because I'm going to be fishing in 2 foot of water, so I don't even need it electronics. So basically, I've got no electronics and no GPS, and I've got this motor that is sketchy at best, and it's only got a 24-gallon tank, and it's that one of those old carbureted motors, so it uses a lot of gas. So here's the dilemma that I'm sort of in this tournament. I'm sort of going to give you guys my thought process. I got there's 2 different scenarios here. I can either stay close, and I know how to catch some fish fairly close there at Lake of the Ozarks, but I feel like it would be a grind, and I feel like under the ideal perfect situation, if everything went perfect, I might be able to get like one of the bottom end checks, top 40 places, top 40th or something like that, which would definitely get me in the Toyota Series Championship. But if I go up to where I want to fish, way up the lake, I really feel I got a chance to win the tournament. And on top of that, I feel like I can pretty much almost lock myself into the championship by going way up there. If I can get up there and if I can get back and if I have enough fishing time, because it takes a lot of fishing time to go through some of these areas that I'm talking about. Some of them are real hard. Some of these areas require lots of idling through shallow water, and you eat up a lot of time. So I'm trying to, here's what I got to figure out. I got to figure out, do I stay close and try to just make the best of it? Or do I, you know, take the gamble with the sketchy boat and run up there and, you know, try to have enough time to catch them up there? But I'm going to try to practice a little bit longer for this tournament. Most of the tournaments that in fact, all the tournaments I fished this year, I've only had like a day or less of practice. 2 of the tournaments I had no practice. All the rest of them I had about total a day, because I always have to drop Elijah off at school in the morning. Sometimes I got to pick him up. So I just don't get much practice. So I'm going to try to practice at least to give myself two full days. In other words, about 8 hours one day and 8 hours another day, if at all possible. But I doubt if that's possible, because again, I got to drop Elijah off at school. So in actuality, I'll probably get a total of about 10 or 12 hours of practice for this tournament, going into the champion, to the last event of the year. Which again, I know the lake really good, so it's not like I've got to, you know, learn the lake. I just got to figure out how to catch them. But in this tournament, you know, there's going to be a lot of, you know, spotlighting for sure. Always is up there. There's going to be a lot of guys fishing deep brush spotlighting. There's always some type of shallow water pattern at Lake of the Ozarks this time of year. It may not be the big deal, but usually there's at least one guy out of the top 10 that usually catches them shallow. So that's what my plan is, obviously, in this tournament. So that's sort of what I'm thinking there, but I just wanted to run that by you guys. The big wild card in this tournament's the boat. I mean, I really appreciate my buddy loaning me his boat, but man, this thing is like, well, it's 80 now. What is that, 35-year-old boat? And the motor's 35 years old too on it. So, you know, there's always that. Never know what's going to go on with that. But anyway, guys, I'll keep you updated. I'm going to start practicing next week. The tournament begins a week from this Thursday. So I'm probably going to practice, you know, maybe a little bit Monday and Tuesday. And that's probably what the practice I'll get. Tournament starts Thursday. And I'll let you know how practice goes, let you know how the tournament goes, and hopefully y'all can maybe learn something and catch a few fish from it. So talk later.